A team releases a new feature, only to see competitors copy it within weeks, realizing that nothing truly changed. Growth metrics may appear healthy, but the work feels like running in place, with the world remaining familiar. This stall occurs when progress is defined as merely copying what works, multiplying versions, and calling it innovation. Another path treats progress as creating something new, the leap from 0 to 1 that technology enables. When the future only repeats today, new problems compound, and spreading old tools can amplify environmental and social strain. A different future requires new capabilities, as globalization without new technology cannot scale without damaging side effects. In a large organization, status comes from meetings and reports, while real creation gets postponed. A small team with a clear mission can move faster, as it can rethink basics and build differently. Next, we will define 0 to 1 progress, explain monopoly thinking, and walk through planning, focus, and distribution. This video is inspired by 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel and Blake Masters, and subscribe to learn how to build a definite future. Progress manifests in two forms: horizontal expansion, moving from 1 to n, and vertical creation, evolving from 0 to 1. Horizontal progress replicates existing models, while vertical progress innovates entirely new methods. Copying is more intuitive, leading societies to overinvest in convergence and underinvest in invention. When invention slows, visible improvements remain confined to digital realms, while physical systems stagnate in outdated patterns. One nation can adopt railroads, air conditioning, and city layouts, gaining scale without inventing new tools. Another effort might develop a word processor instead of many typewriters, transforming how work appears globally. The pivotal step is identifying an important truth that few share, as good answers can reveal a different future. This question prompts thinking from first principles, as established ideas often describe the past, not the next decade. Formulate one clear contrarian belief, then test it against current visibility and potential changes. Use that belief to select a problem where creation is possible, not just optimizing something already common. A business can create immense value and still fail, because value must be captured to endure. Competitive markets push prices toward costs, so profits disappear as firms become interchangeable and undifferentiated. In that setting, energy goes into fighting rivals, not into building something that cannot be substituted. Long-term planning becomes difficult because daily survival depends on small margins and constant reactions. An airline can serve millions and still keep only cents per passenger, showing how competition erodes returns. A search business can earn high margins when it faces no close substitutes, so it can set terms. The goal is a creative monopoly, meaning a product so good that alternatives feel meaningfully worse. This flips the usual praise of competition, because capitalism needs profits, and profits require escaping perfect competition. Define your market honestly, then ask whether you are building the only solution in it or one of many. If the honest answer is many, redesign the plan until you offer a unique capability worth paying for. A monopoly becomes a valuable business only if it endures, as today's value depends on future cash flows. Investors price businesses based on the money they expect in the future, not on current quarter profits. Focusing on short-term metrics can distract teams, while hidden weaknesses threaten long-term survival. Durability improves when the product is hard to replicate, and when customers find it difficult to switch to substitutes. A proprietary technology advantage usually requires being 10 times better on a key dimension, not just marginally improved. Network effects grow only when early users get immediate value, which is why starting with a small market matters. Economies of scale reward designs where fixed costs spread across huge outputs, especially when extra copies cost little. Branding reinforces a monopoly only when it has a solid foundation, as surface polish alone can be quickly imitated. Identify your true advantage and strengthen it until competitors cannot match it without extreme effort. If building a durable advantage matters, subscribe to learn how tenfold improvements in technology, network scale, and substance protect long-term value. A definite future arises from choosing a clear vision and building toward it, not from hoping that randomness will help. Indefinite optimism expects progress without a plan, whereas definite optimism turns intentions into execution. When people view the future as chance, they tend to stockpile resources and avoid committing to specific projects. Planning feels arrogant in that mindset, so teams default to constant iteration and treat goals as unknowable. Buzzwords like lean and evolve can become excuses, as small changes can only reach a local maximum. A bold plan can define the global maximum, even if the first steps must adjust along the way. A startup is an arena where a small group can exercise definite mastery over part of the world. Rejecting chance means acting like a builder, not a lottery ticket waiting for luck. Write the plan in one page, name the milestone that proves product value, and set a timeline. Then review weekly decisions against the plan, changing tactics when needed while protecting the core direction. Outcomes follow a power law, meaning that a tiny number of companies generate most returns and attention. For venture investing to work, 1 or 2 winners must outperform the rest, so diversification can miss the point. The same logic applies within a company, where one market, one strategy, and a few key decisions matter most. Because the curve is hidden, the most important move is often not obvious, and it can look like a secret. A real secret is something unknown but doable, and it answers the question of what valuable company nobody is building. Secrets spread best inside a company, because sharing them only with needed teammates keeps the advantage protected. Execution still fails when distribution is ignored, since personal sales and clear channels often decide whether a product reaches users. Early foundations also matter, because wrong partners or early rules can be hard to correct later. Use one checklist before committing, covering engineering, timing, monopoly, people, distribution, durability, and secret questions. Pick the single biggest opportunity, build the team around it, and let everything else remain secondary to that focus. The goal is not to copy what works, but to create something new that transforms what is possible. This shift requires unconventional thinking about the future, as invention begins where consensus ends. You understood why competition erases profits, and why creative monopolies capture value by solving unique problems. You also realized that durability depends on future cash flows and defensible advantages like 10 times technology. With network effects on a scale and strong branding, a company can continue to grow while rivals remain stuck. A clear plan replaces randomness, turning ambition into actionable steps that a focused team can execute. The power law then guides attention, as a few choices, markets, and channels will drive most outcomes. Before starting, test your idea with the 7 business questions, fixing weak answers early on. Once the answers improve, commit fully, share the core secret within the team, and build toward a chosen future. If these frameworks help you make better bets, subscribe to continue learning how to build companies that invent and endure.